Hey guys, Mike Mcerlane with another episode of Workout 101 on workouttrainer.com right here at the personal home fitness studio of Dr. Jim Stepani, obviously, and myself, which is the gym, okay? Our personal home fitness studio to where we shoot all the content for jimstepani.com, gymsupplementscience.com, as well as workouttrainer.com. Today we're going to be talking about a barbell lunge. A lot of folks do barbell lunges in the gym. And although it's a movement that a lot of people do, it's also a movement that a lot of people do incorrectly. There's so many different things that are involved when you're training. Technique, little things, little tweaks can just really aid the benefit of the exercise to make sure that you stay safe, as well as to make sure that you're actually getting the results that you want on the intended muscle groups that you're trying to hit or emphasize. In the case of the barbell lunge, and any lunge for that matter, there are a few things that you have to be aware of when you're moving in this particular pattern, which is, in a frontal patterns here. So what you want to do is foot placement is key. Where you just have your feet, I'm bow-legged, so don't make fun of me, but where you have your feet in relation to where you're stepping, okay? That's the first thing. Then, as you step, what happens with your foot and the load as it transfers, because you're moving the load here, you're transferring it forward. What happens in that instance? What needs to happen with your feet to how to, absorb and transfer the load to where it's not putting a shearing force onto your knee and it's putting the load onto the leg, the quads, the hammies, and the glutes, all right? So let's first show you the technique of how to do it correctly, okay? And then I'll show you how to do it incorrectly, or what I see. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and unrack the bar, step out. Now what you want is you want to make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, okay? Just at shoulder width. Now shoulder width apart seems closer than what you think. A lot of people think shoulder width apart is wide. It is not. Shoulder width apart, this is about the width of where my shoulders are. I want the outside edge of my foot to be where my shoulders are, not the inside part, all right? So just shoulder width apart. Now you gotta pretend that your feet are on railroad tracks, okay? If I just hit a railroad tracks, I have my right rail that goes in front that this foot is essentially attached to, and this foot is attached to the left railroad track. And all I'm doing, they're straight ahead, and I'm taking one foot that I'm moving with, placing it onto that same track that it originated on, and that's where I'm stepping, okay? So I want to step in front on that railroad track, descend down, put the pressure onto my heel, my front heel, push off, my toe comes up as I push off, and I push off the heel back to the standing position. Switch feet, railroad track, come down, push off the heel and back. The heel and back. The heel and back, okay. So that's how it's supposed to look, but I want you to understand the dynamics of the movement and what you need to be aware of. A lot of people, when they do it, they'll do this, to where they come, they're starting off here, but they'll cross their own pattern, and they'll step directly in front. This right here, if I step directly in front, now my center of gravity is off. That's why people lose balance. The other thing is the hip. If I step here in front, my hip crosses. As I push down, it creates a torquing force onto my hip. If I'm stepping in line here, my knee tends to track in more so than where my hip is at. So I'm tracking in here, I'm off balance, which a lot of people can fall, and my hip tracks in, and I'm putting all the pressure onto the outside part of my hip, not where it's supposed to be. You want everything in line. So as you're stepping straight ahead on the railroad track. Boom. Now, my hip and my foot are in a straight line. My feet are separated. I have good stability, and I can descend down, allowing an even load onto each one of the muscles that are involved here, versus stepping here and kind of crossing myself. You don't want to do that. The other thing you do is when you do step, understand what's going on. The weight in the movement is carrying forward horizontally and down, kind of in this sweeping downward fashion here. What that does is it puts a lot of load more so onto the quadriceps. Then yes, all the other legs are working, but you're putting a lot of load onto the quads, because the quads are stopping this momentum. They're stopping you from coming forward. The weight wants to continue traveling down, and this movement here down will put a lot of pressure onto the quads. The one thing you have to be careful of is not to allow the knee to overextend the toe. And you do that by stepping too short. So a lot of people will step short, they'll come down, and their knee will come very far over their toe. So if you look at me from the side here, their knee will come very far over the toe, and this heel will rise. And the load transfers from the heel to the toe. That can throw you off and put a shearing force onto the knee, which you just simply don't want. You want to step out enough to where you're here in an upright position. As you descend downward, that knee does go forward, but it stops vertically, and then the rest of the movement happens in the hips, to where now this is a vertical movement. The only horizontal movement should be to where you step, boom, the knee stops vertically, and then the rest of the movement happens in the knee and the hip, which descend down and back up. From there, that is when you're working on your glutes and your hammies in that movement, when you have rotation in and about the hip. So as you step, the majority of the load stays on the heel. This toe comes up just for stability. So as you step here, stop, descend down. It's a vertical movement here. Then as you come up here, you're pushing off the heel, not off of the toe. Push off the heel. So step, let's do it with weight. Step, toe to heel, or heel to toe, down, up, and switch. Now the other thing is a lot of people don't know what to do with this knee. How low should I go? Should I go down to where the knee touches, you know, or should I just go down? Look, go down to where you just feel a little bit of contact with the floor, but you don't want to kneel down. So you don't want to come down here, kneel down, let this load transfer now to this leg, and it's off this leg. You won't be able to get back up. I've seen people come down before where they step, they do this, and then they just buckle. And the reason why is because this leg is not prepared to take that load. It's not in the biomechanical correct position to take that load. You got to keep the load onto this leg, all right, or whichever working leg it is. You come down, keep it down on this leg. Go down, just barely touch if you want. Just touch it, or come down to where you don't touch. But you want this leg as parallel to the ground as you possibly can, all right? So it looks like this once again. Railroad tracks. Step forward. Down, up, switch. Down, up, switch. Okay? This is a front barbell lunge. There are different lunges: traveling lunge, front to back lunges, side lunges. This is a front barbell lunge. You're moving forward, front, coming back, all right? Front to back, which we're not going to cover, is here. Front to back lunge, it's a completely different movement altogether. We'll cover that in other episodes, but if you guys want a workout program that utilizes this movement or anything else, please ask me on the Workout Trainer Facebook page, or you can ask me right here on workouttrainer.com by clicking above on community, up on trainers, find myself, Mike Mcerlane. I will answer any questions you guys have. Workout program for this, a demo workout should be listed below, so make sure you guys check that out. Share this information with your friends, family. And if you want more custom workouts from the smartest guy, this guy right here, in the industry, go to jimstepani.com. That is the VIP section of all fitness content, to where you will get custom workouts written by the man himself, Dr. Jim, and have access to himself as well as all the great community members that we have on the Gym Army page and jimstepani.com. So until next time, it's Mike Mcerlane with workouttrainer.com and Gym Supplement Science. Take care.